NASA satellites capture rainfall, soil moisture, temperature, and crop health data every day. But for millions of smallholder farmers, this knowledge never reaches them. The data exists, but the access doesn't. What if a simple game could close that gap?
Meet Team CUET Mongolchari, 6 innovators bringing unique skills to bridge space and soil. Shafkat Nawaz Chaudhuri, Saifullah Simon, Atikur Rahman, Shahadat Hossein Roni, Abrar Rahnaf Karim, and Ahmad Safwan Sami.
We are uniting design, development, research, and creativity to transform NASA's open data into practical farming knowledge. Now, let's hear directly from the team.
Bangladesh is a nation where agriculture employs over 40% of the workforce.
It contributes nearly 12% of our GDP and shapes our everyday lives.
Farming is our backbone, but it's increasingly vulnerable to climate change.
Rising floods, droughts, and
Soil degradation threaten our farmers' survival.
That's why we want to connect NASA's space technology directly to the soil.
Through an engaging farming simulator, space to soil.
Farmers face unpredictable weather, water scarcity, and crop losses. According to the World Bank, Bangladesh loses up to 1.5% of its GDP annually due to climate-related disasters. Floods, droughts, and soil degradation threaten food security for millions. But climate is not the main problem here. The real challenge is that farmers lack access to reliable data and the literacy to use it, forcing them to depend on guesswork. This leads to poor yields, wasted resources, and financial struggles for communities. And this is not only a Bangladeshi problem. More than 500 million smallholder farmers worldwide face the same knowledge gap. That's why the NASA Space Apps Challenge 2025 called on innovators to design an educational game using open datasets to simulate farming scenarios, and that inspired us to create Space to Soil, a mobile farming simulation game that uses NASA's real satellite data. So in our gameplay, first, give location access so we can fetch crops and data relevant to your area. In career mode, you'll start with crops suited to your region. Pick a crop and farmland, then make the right choices at each stage of its cultivation cycle. Over several in-game months, you'll watch your crop grow and finally harvest it. Every decision you make, from planting and watering to fertilizing, is guided by real NASA satellite data on rainfall, soil moisture, vegetation, and temperature. This ensures your in-game choices mirror the challenges and strategies of real-world farming. Once you've cultivated all available crops, creative mode unlocks. Here, you can choose any location in the world and explore what grows there. Plus, you can open your camera for augmented reality and machine learning to identify real crops around you and decide what to grow next. How do we turn raw NASA satellite data into a fun, playable game? We start with 2 key datasets: SMAP, which tells us how much water is in the soil, and NDVI, which shows how green and healthy the plants are. To make this more relevant, we also collected local agricultural data from the Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute. The game then works by comparing 2 things: the ideal conditions for a crop and the real-time conditions from NASA satellites. That gap becomes the challenge for players. They can adjust irrigation, fertilizer, and pesticide levels, each ranging from 1 to 10 to try to close that gap. We've also built a robust back-end logic that makes these decisions intuitive for the player, covering irrigation, fertilization, and pesticide use. You can see this reflected in our data control system. Players are scored based on how closely their choices match the target, and the coin system ensures strategy. If you run out of resources, you have to restart the crop cycle. We brought farmers into the experience, letting them play space to soil firsthand. Watching them learn and enjoy decision-making through our game proved its power to turn complex data into simple, practical knowledge.
this game is not just an entertainment, it's a learning tool. Research shows this kind of local data environment system can improve the learning process too much. And by combining NASA's data with this kind of digital platforms, can help the community to learn about this kind of agricultural platforms.
By turning climate data into interactive lessons, we can help communities prepare, adapt, and farm sustainably. Together, let's grow knowledge from space to soil.